everyone. Welcome to another segment of Masterminds Monday. I'm your host, Phylecia Tarel-Anu, and we are here with our co-host,
Brother Damon Rawls.
Yay! So for today, we have something a little different. For today's segment, we actually have a guest that I had the pleasure of interviewing. Her name is Craftswoman, and she's out of Dallas, Texas area. And we had a pleasure of meeting her while we were on the Selfactualization tour, and we actually did the interview in Pan-African Connection bookstore, which is a beautiful bookstore. So again, Damon, you were there in spirit because you had your questions that I did present to her as well. So let's get to the interview and check it out.
Okay, so today we are here with Craftswoman, live from Dallas, Texas, at Pan-African Connection bookstore. And today we wanted to jump into a little bit of the art and the talent of the Craftswoman. So where did the love come from for turning candle making into a business?
The love actually came after I got into the kitchen and started making the candles. I really had never been interested in candles or candle making. I was actually just looking for another business venture. So I thought about making jewelry and different things like that, and all of a sudden candle making came to me, and I wanted to actually buy the candles and resell them. And I was actually working in corporate America, and when I was looking at how much it would cost to buy the candles and resell them, there would be no profit into it. So my coworker behind me saw me looking online and started to ask me questions, and I said, I'm thinking about starting this business, but it's not going to be profitable. And he said, why don't you make the candles? And I was like, I don't know how to make candles. So I just went to the craft store and I made them. I love being in the kitchen and making them. It was kind of like I would go into a trance, and I just started to do all these different things, and I would just pass them out to my neighbors, my friends, and ask them what they thought about the candles that I was making, and they said that they were good and I should continue. So I continued to make the candles and still worked at corporate America, and eventually was released from a job. So I was in Atlanta, and I just started to go to different places to sell my candles. And a few years, I think about maybe like after making them for 5 years, I started getting requests from people who wanted to learn how to make the candles. And I was the only one making them, so I couldn't really produce so many. So I said, okay, well, let me just start teaching people how to make candles. And I got a really good response with that, so I just started making candles for all different type of people. I've been at schools, the libraries, I've taught in public schools, private schools, I'm taught in retirement homes. I go to sometimes people's houses to teach them personally how to make candles, whatever type that they want to specialize in. So that's how I got started actually into candle making.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I just wanted to jump to something else. I noticed that your background, you came out of corporate America. Now, was that the impetus for you to get into candles, since you really at first wasn't into candles? So was that whole corporate environment something that you kind of wanted to jump out of and do your own thing?
Yes, I'm a licensed nail technician. I've been a nail technician for almost 20 years, and so I wanted to do something besides just working in a salon. So that's why I went to corporate America, and then I thought, this is really not for me. So I really needed the freedom to be creative, because that's just me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Because that's like our theme here. We speak about, spirituality in business and people going out on their own. So it's also beautiful to see women that are coming out of corporate America to enhance their creativity.
Yes.
Now, getting back to the candles, can you break down the science of smell?
Okay, right. Okay, so the smells, aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is... there are different fragrances that alter your consciousness and brings you into a different feeling or an atmosphere. There are certain fragrances that helps you to be calm, to help you to be relaxed, like rosemary, rose, lavender. There's fragrances that will help you to be a little upbeat, like peppermint, or sometimes eucalyptus that could open up your sinuses. There's so many different type of fragrances. Actually, certain people, it affects them differently. Like patchouli is one fragrance that is very, they call that the hippie fragrance. So people may feel a little more free, and that is also a fragrance that is supposed to bring money to you, help you to attract money. Sometimes people ask me what is my favorite scent, but it varies from whatever that's going on. But like jasmine is going to bring a loving feeling. So different feelings, different fragrances will help you to feel a certain way, to put you in a certain mood.
Now, do any of your candles help to attract certain type of energies towards you? Like if somebody wants a mate, or they're depressed or something like that, do you recommend certain types of candles for certain issues someone may be going through?
Right. For depression, I would recommend like jasmine is really good for bringing out a pleasant, positive energy. Even I know lavender is stress relieving, so that could help release, any type of tension that you may be having or going through. Fragrances like rose and jasmine again will bring the love, attract the love. There's actually a fragrance called Love Spell, but that's not a natural fragrance. That's a designer type. But actually, that fragrance is one of the most popular fragrances that I have worked with is Love Spells, because I guess the name, when people hear that, and people always, if they want love, they will always get Love Spell. And you always have frankincense and myrrh. That helps people to meditate, and that's another popular fragrance, frankincense and myrrh. Sandalwood is good for attracting money. It's also relaxing and calming. It's very earthy fragrance to help ground you also.
Wonderful. Now you're extremely talented, so we want to shift into another one of your talents, which I think is a beautiful thing. Again, you're a doula practitioner. So can you talk to us a little bit about that, how you got into that and what you love about that?
I got into that work after I had my son in 2009, just going through the whole labor process. Something just kind of clicked. That pregnancy, motherhood just really, really changed me. I was so obsessed when I was pregnant with reading all these pregnancy books. I was looking at birth stories, but you're not supposed to look at birth stories when you're pregnant, because it could create fear because of what you see other people go through. I actually saw the mistreatment, I guess the devaluing of motherhood. The way that you're treated in the hospitals, or the way that you're treated by medical professionals when you're going through such a very, very sacred time and initiation to become a mother. I really didn't appreciate that, and I just saw the need of having an assistant, of being coached on your decisions, even being educated, because as a doula, we refer to ourselves as a holistic birth worker. The word doula is a Greek word, and it means woman servant or woman slave. I personally don't have a problem being a slave to a woman. I don't. I love serving women. So there's different types of doulas. There's a doula that may work with you before, while you're just prenatal. Some may just do birth, and some may do postpartum. A holistic birth worker is going to do everything. So depending on whatever the needs of the mother, I would do everything. But I just really wanted to basically serve the woman, serve these women. So after I had my child, everything just kind of, I was in labor for 4 hours. I was in there, unfortunately, by myself because of the circumstances that I was going through, and I breastfed easily. So a lot of my friends would ask me, well, how did you breastfeed? Or, my breasts are hurting, or different things like that. So I ended up just giving them advice. And I even attended a few births before I decided to actually pursue the actual certification. But even with postpartum, help women out with that. A lot of times when you have cesareans, to recover from that, it takes a lot, and you really need to have somebody there to help you. And also when we're talking about postpartum, the potty training, I was able to potty train my son by 2 years. 2 years, because I was not going to be buying pull-ups. So that's like my love. I really love working with pregnant women. I really, really love helping them after they have the baby, helping them with nutrition, even being there physically, whether it's to run errands for them, anything just to give them a break. Because in America, people, they have sometimes 6 weeks to just rest and bond with their baby, when in other cultures it's really supposed to be a few years that the mother becomes like a baby, and she is pampered the same way that the baby is pampered.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, can you give us some benefits of, say, home births to women who may not know anything about having a home birth, or they think it's something that's archaic and not, beneficial to their baby, versus having a hospital birth?
Well, I read this book. This book is actually talking about unassisted birthing, and I know some people that idea is a little bit far off. To have your baby at home by yourself, or either with your mate. And I would just tell you one of the examples that was in the book to talk about how sacred the birthing is. It's like when you're intimate, when you're making your baby, who was in the room? So in the same way, when you have the baby, they say the same way you made the baby is the way that the baby should be coming to the world, in the bed, in the home, things like that, just to keep that sacredness. The home birth is very important because you don't have to leave where you are after you have your baby. It's a lot to leave, and then you're having your baby in an unfamiliar environment. So if someone feels comfortable, if they are at low risk, if you are at high risk, a home birth is not recommended. So it's best that you have the baby in the hospital with all of the medical intervention. But when you're in the hospital, it's kind of like sometimes you don't really have a right. It's a business, so business is about time and money. So you could be laboring for a few days, and if they're tired, the nurses and doctors are tired of working with you, the next thing to do is to do major surgery, a cesarean. So you're less likely to have to go through intervention when you're in a comfortable state. If you're at home, so many women, it just comes natural. They may go to the bathroom and the baby wants to come through. So you're in such a natural environment, so there will be less pressure, less tension, in more of an easier, quicker, peaceful, nice, loving birth, versus if you have beeps, you're hooked up to a monitor, you have the IV in your arm, you have strangers coming in, looking at your private parts, maybe not being sensitive to your feelings, because being a doula, sometimes we have to see that actually sometimes the pregnant women are actually being abused with rough exams, or not having their requests being honored. So I think that being at home, if it's possible, any way possible, would really be the best thing for you and the baby.
Beautiful.
Okay, so now for a quick announcement. For Anu Nation, again, we are full circle. We have come back to the East Coast. Chief, you did a lot of lecturing. We did about 12 or so, about 11 venues for the whole tour. We still have a few more stops to go. The next one is going to be on September 27th. We're going to be at Pagan Pride Day. So if you are in the New York City area, please come through, because this is a free event. He's done this event quite a few years in a row. I believe this is the third year in a row. It's always excellent turnout. It's in Washington Square Park. It's always on a beautiful day. So come out if you can. It will be from 10 to 5 p.m. And again, it's a free event, so come check us out at Pagan Friday on September 27th. We also have an event a little down the road. It's on December 27th at Black and Nobel. So if you are in the Philadelphia area, definitely come check us out. Chief will be given his self-actualization lecture. However, as you can see, it's on the second day of Kwanzaa. So he will be given a focus on the Kuji Chakalia. I can't say that word. Kuji Chakalia principle, which is self-determination. So you got self-determination, self-actualization. So again, it's not a Kwanzaa event, but it's a focus on that whole self-determination theme. So definitely come check us out because that will be an exciting event. Black and Nobel is a very popular store. So everyone in the Philadelphia area, definitely come and check us out December 27th. So again, to get more details, come visit us at www.sedulhouse.org, and you can see the whole complete event listing there and all the details there as well. So now let's get back to our interview with Ms. Craftswoman.
Now, can you give some advice to women who are thinking about getting into the birthing industry and they may want to be a doula or a midwife? Like, how would you give them some advice on their first steps?
The first steps is to just be with pregnant women. I mean, you can read a lot. You can read a lot of pregnancy books, a lot of books about childbirth preparation, postpartum. Yeah, you can just read a lot and start spending time with pregnant women and offering your assistance to them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I wanted to shift again, because again, you have a lot of talents here. Now, can you talk to us about yoni steam?
Okay, yes. Yoni steam is an ancient detox method for the vagina, for the reproductive organs. It is actually, it's something that women still do in the islands, apart from, the States. And even some people who come here from the islands and the continent and different places like that, they still continue that tradition. So basically you use the power of the herbs. You use the herbs with hot water, and then the steam does the work. So depending on what situation you may be going through, whether it's after birth, endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS, so much. It helps with hemorrhoids, your kidney, urine, your bladder. Excuse me. It's so beneficial. But actually, the reason why I got into yoni steam personally, when I first heard about it, I was like, "What is this? Oh, I am so excited about this!" And the reason why I got into it actually because of I was molested, and I wanted to heal from that. So because of that creates womb trauma, and also some other things that I had been going through when I was in the womb of my mother. My mother was raped, and so that actually affected me more than I had even realized that, because I didn't even know what happened. So I learned how to steam. I went to Atlanta, and I got involved with the Yoni Steam Institute, and the steam was just awesome. It was just awesome. So I learned how to take care of myself. I went home and I did it again. And it's like every time you do it, you get a different feeling. And it's good to continue to do it, but it's going to flush out everything that's inside. And it's not recommended for pregnant women or anything, but it's very good for postpartum, for after you deliver your baby. And it's actually required, I'm hearing, in certain cultures, that after you have the baby, you have to steam to just release. And sometimes it could also release the placenta. So yoni steaming is good. To me, it helps me emotionally to connect to myself. And it's the same feeling that you get after a massage or after a facial, after a sweat lodge. You just feel like it's so relaxing. So I mean, I love the yoni steam. It's beneficial for women, little girls, from when they start their cycle all the way up to menopause. Even if a woman has had a hysterectomy, they still can benefit from the yoni steam.
Wonderful. That sounds excellent. I definitely want to try it. Now, again, focusing on the womb, being a doula and the yoni steam. Now, women, of course, that want to get pregnant, sometimes they just think, okay, you just join with someone, you have a baby. But we know that there's a lot more preparation that needs to take place to care for the womb in advance of bringing a baby into the world. Yeah. Can you share that wisdom with us, to our young girls and women that are planning to be mothers? Get on the right track.
And just to be real, receiving a lot of like vaccinations and different things. A lot of women have been unknowingly sterilized. That's like a real serious issue. And when I speak about this, people, don't want to believe it, but I get so many calls from women who said they had heavy periods. They go in and they have a hysterectomy because that's what the doctor ordered. Young women, 20s, 30s, and a lot of times if you have issues, I've heard people saying that, they had to take out a tube and then they end up kind of doing something else to the other one. And I've had a lot of people to go to the doctor to get a surgery on just fixing up the tube, taking out the cyst or whatever, and then they have problems conceiving. That's one thing. It's actually, the truth. That's genocide is real. That's just what it is. Population control or whatever. Another thing is the food. The food that we're eating, they don't have seeds in it. So if you're eating food that don't have seeds and have all these different chemicals in it, that's going to affect your womb and affect your ability to conceive. Even cell phones, in your pockets, that affects your sperm count. It's so many things in the air, that affects us as far as reproducing. I believe that there are miracles that nobody can tell you, what's going to happen to your body. So a lot of women, I do work with women who are trying to conceive. So I give them a list of foods that they can eat, exercises like womb yoga, and affirmations, tantra, so many different things. I say be around children, be nice to children, be the mother that you feel that you will want to have. Better yourself. People, certain cultures believe that the baby choose you. So be the one that soul wants to come through.
That's the next question I was going to ask. Perfect segue. Now, again, spiritually, we're speaking about spirituality and business, connecting it. And you found one of the perfect, occupations that you can do in spirituality and business. Now, the spiritual aspects of the womb, do you believe that our ancestor is returning through us through the womb? Or can you share your perspective on the spiritual aspects of the womb and the power of the womb?
Definitely. I believe that you can call forth the spirit of the child that you want to come through you. They choose you. Like some couples will say that I did not even like this man, or I didn't even like this woman. And then after the child is conceived, they separate. And it's kind of like they were just, the soul could have said, I want you and I want you. And, I want you to be my mother, I want you to be my father. And so that's kind of like how it happens. It's kind of like a spirit just take over you. And I felt that way when I conceived my child. I immediately knew. I was hearing things. I immediately knew. I could hear everything. So it was definitely, and I knew that I was having a son. I didn't need to I told the person who was doing the sonogram, I know that I'm having a son. I knew this. So I connected, with him. I thanked him for choosing me, so it gets a little deep. Ancestors definitely do return.
Wonderful. Now, again, it seems like a lot of your services are very holistic. So what would you suggest for somebody who needs a complete healing of the mind, body, and spirit in terms of coming to you for some services?
It would depends on, what it is that they're looking for. I definitely recommend a yoni steam for any woman, no matter if your health is perfect, if you've never went through any wound trauma, it doesn't matter. I would definitely suggest a yoni steam because it's going to detox naturally, not with any side effects if done properly. But I also would give them some affirmations, kind of like in the I have holistic womb sessions, so it's not like you just get a yoni steam. We actually do a consultation and assessment and find out, what's going on with you and what you could do to better your situation, whether it's rubbing on your belly, declaring, what it is that you want. And I also want to say that healing is a process. We have been through a lot, especially melanated women. We have been through a lot. We are a strong force, and in order for the world to change, we have to be healed. And we can, and the world will change because we can change our men, and then we can change our families, and then that's what will be even better. So we definitely every person is different though. It's just some people I may recommend some exercise or womb yoga, like I said, chanting, soaking in the bath. Baths are really good. Connecting with that water spirit is essential. Crystals, I recommend crystals. I recommend setting up an altar, a spiritual center in your home. Also, definitely dealing with your ancestors. You cannot forget your DNA. You cannot forget the people who were here before you and are the reason why you are here. So I definitely recommend getting to your ancestors and calling forth for them to help you, to give you guidance, to give you wisdom, because that never fails. They will come to you in dreams and whispers and all different type of way, or whatever way that you receive messages. And I know that water is a real good way to get into that yemoya, get into that spirit ocean.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get into, say, transition out of corporate America to do something more creative and spiritual, like a spiritual type business, kind of like yourself, and how to be successful at it like yourself?
I actually would, one thing that I was released from the job, but I would say work as long as you can while you can get that, that steady paycheck, and be patient and just study the business and save the money. Buy the products because thankfully I was saving up my money, and I had all of my equipment that I already had invested just in case something happened, with the job. But I would just say, and even make those connections while you're in there, because those people that I work with ended up being my clients and my customers even now, still to this day. And I've been making candles for 10 years, and I think I stopped working in corporate America in 2004 or 2003. I think that was the last corporate job that I had.
Wow. That's beautiful, because it is a tough transition sometimes, coming out of having a steady paycheck to doing your own thing. So I know it's you have to have some good character and discipline to stay on track. Yeah, and just be determined, and know that there's going to be some weeks that the sales are not going to come, but you still need to keep on, even if you have to go and get a part-time job or something like that. I wouldn't get a full-time job, because sometimes you can start slacking on your business. Some people do have full-time jobs in their own businesses. That's a little too much for me, but I understand when you want, that income. You want that consistent income. So I would just say it's serious. You're very independent. It takes you to make the money. You create the money. And the main thing, actually, even with me, I just have to be okay. My emotions need to be okay.
You know, so you need to make sure that you feel good so that you can be creative. Because that's what you do. That's how you create your income. It comes, you know, with your mind. So you have to make sure that you have positive people around you, because it's easy to just get discouraged when you don't get that sale and then that bill comes in late. So if you have to sleep on somebody's couch, you know, eat beans and rice or whatever, not go out, wear the same clothes, whatever you have to do just to save that money and invest it into your business, but always just invest it back into your business. Keep on, and just believe in yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Now, as a woman, do you feel that is key to kind of partner with other women to kind of help keep it going?
Oh, definitely. Networking is key. You cannot do it by yourself. It's just impossible. I mean, I'm my own person right now. I would love to have people helping me, but it will come a time where I have more people to help me. You definitely need to work with other people who, even if they're not in the same field as you, and even the people who you feel are your competitors, you can link up with them and work with them.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, of course, where can we go to learn more about you and your products and services?
Okay, you can go to my website, candlescreated.com. You can email me at craftswoman@gmail. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube as Craftswoman. And that's how you can find out about me.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thanks again for coming on to Masterminds Monday.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Peace.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. On to our next announcement from Damon Ross Coaching and Consulting.
Are you stuck? If you're feeling stuck right now in your job, your career, your relationships, let Damon Ross help you. All his life, Damon has been very successful in business and corporate America, and yet he knows what it's like to feel stuck as well. In fact, one of his specialties is helping people just like yourself free themselves from all the things that are holding them back. You see, over the years, Damon has perfected a neat little trick that he calls Find Your Inner Freak. It's the key to unlocking the secrets of personal success that are already there inside you, waiting to get out. He'll uncover your real strengths and your hidden weaknesses or blind spots. He'll even create a step-by-step, custom-tailored life plan that will enable you to get out of the rut you're in. You owe it to yourself to give this a try. Find Your Inner Freak is proven to help people from all walks of life. And since the cost is so low, you'd be foolish not to give it an honest try. Get started today for the low cost of $47. Contact Damon at 865-271-8021 or Damon@DamonRalls.com. Once again, it's 865-271-8021 or Damon, D-A-M-O-N, at DamonRalls, DamonRalls.com.
So, again, that's our show. Again, it was a pleasure to have Ms. Craftswoman out of Dallas come join us. She was one of our very first guests on Masterminds Monday. And again, definitely go check her out to learn more about her business and her products and services. And again, if you have any questions, definitely email us at mastermindsmonday@gmail.com. And either I or Brother Damon here will answer any questions that you may have regarding your business and spirituality. Brother Damon, have anything?
And remember, we have all the answers. We have all the answers to all the questions. So if you ask, we will answer. So ask the questions. We got the answers. If we don't know the answer, we will find out the answer.
True, absolutely. So we are resourceful, I will say that.
Yes, we are.
So again, thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Peace.
Peace.